I'm joined, of course, by Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely.
Hey, Josh.
These are the guys that traumatized many people by killing your favorite characters. So, welcome, guys.
You're welcome. Really a group effort.
Anybody else you want killed?
That's right.
Let me know.
Go to these guys. On the eve of Endgame, some big, bold choices in that one. Was there one that you were most curious, like, would the fans go for it? Would it work? What felt like the riskiest choice in Endgame?
I think killing Natasha was the thing I worried about the most. I thought it was, and still think it's really important. I think it's the appropriate story point. It's the end of her journey. It is the most heroic thing, getting the Avengers back, getting the world back. You know, she had so much red in her ledger and coming so far and to make this heroic sacrifice. But you are killing the first female character of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You could argue there are more stories to be told. Sounds like we're getting one, right? But you know, we collectively said this is the right choice for us, and we will live with the consequences. Yeah.
And how far down the road did you get? Because I know you talked about you had a version where Hawkeye.
We explore everything. So at one point we asked, "Hey, what if we did this?"
The math on the cliff would work. We needed two people who loved each other. One of them had to go over, so we had to try both.
And so, I guess my question is, did you extrapolate from there? Like, how far did you how would that have played out the rest of the movie? Did you go that far down?
I don't think we did. I think it was an outline phase, maybe.
Yeah, it basically came down to: is this a tragic beat, or is this with Natasha? It's heroic.
Right.
With Clint, it would be heroic, but it's mainly like, oh, that's so sad he didn't get with his family. With Natasha, it's like, it's sort of strangely an upbeat in that it is the fulfillment of her, absolute heroism.
Right. It's not unlike Tony's beat, obviously. They both die for the mission. Hers comes at the end of Act 2 as opposed to the end, so there are complications there, right? Because the movie's not over.
Yes.
The mission's not over. And yet, given the rules of Vormir, written by us, right? we got to do somebody here sometime, And more importantly, it was we knew we were going to escort people off the stage, and so her being a hero in this very private but important way seemed appropriate.
We presumably, it's not officially announced, we presumably, judging by pictures of them actually making the movie, have a Black Widow movie coming. I don't expect you to say that. But I guess my question is, did you have to thread in any story points or references into this film about potentially future Black Widow?
Marvel is very good about not stressing about what's coming next.
Right.
And about not sharing with us.
Well, about not sharing, but also they're not, if you want to kill somebody or, really dirty them up or something like that, they're not going to go, we got another one. They'll find a way. Right. They're not going to change their plans necessarily because of it, but they're not going to blunt the movie they're working on for the sake of the next one down the line.
Best story wins.
In your head, do you know what happened in Budapest?
Oh!
A lot of things happen.
No, there's not a definitive one that we have. Right.
Just curious. No. I feel like the next Black Widow movie, the Black Widow movie should be called Black Widow: What Happened in Budapest.
Yes, finally, people.
You obviously had a lot of real estate between these two films in terms of just like amount of time that Marvel was willing to, or Disney was willing to go down the road with you. That being said, you have 30 minutes more of script running time in Endgame. Is there something you didn't, that you wanted to would have liked to have explored more? You did an amazing service to all this ensemble, but is there a character or group that you feel like you wanted to go down?
I don't think anybody got short shrift, to tell you the truth. There were certainly endless other scenes and sequences that we wrote. A lot of them got cut because we realized we were starting the story too early. Right. We were visiting people before the story had gotten to them, and we were just sort of like, what were they up to before the movie got around to them?
Right. Particularly in Infinity War, we did that.
Yeah, there was a ton of that. So while I like those scenes, I don't miss them.
Yeah,
and that's the challenge of long-form storytelling versus a successful 2-hour, in this case 3-hour movie that is meant to stand on its own, right?
Yep.
Like, I would love to tell you what Steve and Natasha and Sam were doing after Civil War, but before Edinburgh.
Yep.
But it's got to be about stones, man.
Well, and the interesting thing also for you guys now is like you don't have another Marvel thing on the docket right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows where the future will take you? And so you can kind of speak to it as fans now in
Yeah.
terms of where it goes and what you'd be interested in seeing. Like I'm curious, like we know like Shang-Chi and Eternals and Black Panther 2. Like there are a bunch of things that are in the pipeline potentially.
Yeah.
As fans though, what are you excited to see? Like
I mean, I'm excited about all those ones you just mentioned, particularly because I don't know those properties very well.
Yeah.
Right.
So it really does put me much more in the fan position.
Yeah, Eternals feels like Guardians in
Yeah,
a way,
which is
right?
it's
Like,
exciting.
for me, man. I don't know.
I'm intrigued by what they'll do with the things they're getting back from Fox.
Yeah.
I'd probably, I'd go slow.
Yeah. So
And
what's your advice? How do you weave in X-Men, Fantastic Four?
I'd go
Save 'em.
slow, and also if you wanted to, you could conceivably take the Avengers model. Again, this is pure speculation.
These are three nerds just talking. It's all good.
You could make solo movies and then bring them together as
Right.
the X-Men. You don't necessarily have to follow, because
Pull back a curtain and there they are.
yeah, we've
Right.
had so many models of the school.
Yes.
The
Right.
Xavier school. And while that is canon in the comics, maybe there's another way to think about it.
Yep.
So that, you don't want to make them just like the Avengers, but you also don't want to make them just like the movies that have already.
That's the only thing I will guarantee is that Kevin's not going to do it like you've seen it done already.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to presumably see Kevin before this weekend is out. I'll probably ask him the same thing. Like, if as Phase 4 begins, presumably he's already has in mind, like, what the next culmination, what the next major
what
event
the
is.
next Endgame is?
Well, just knowing that, like, you guys planted the seeds as early as you did for this one. Is it Secret Wars? Is it, like, again, from a fan perspective,
Yeah.
what do you think should be the next major event that culminates a phase?
I honestly don't know. Having just come off a big culmination, it's not what I want to think about.
It's like the last thing.
No,
you
but
want.
I mean, my mind wants to get back to some individual superhero stories.
Yeah.
Right. I want to see what Kugler does
And rebuild.
next time out.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes Marvel work the way it works is there are mile markers flung in the distance that they don't necessarily need to get to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're not. Everything must march in lockstep over there because we need to have the Beyonder show up or something like that. It's loose.
And they have the luxury of 20 characters you're in love with that they can go down
This is the
as
thing.
long as they
If
want.
they wanted to be
Like,
super conservative, why don't you make simply Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
Like, they've got money in the bank.
Yep. They've
They're
got a choice
using
of
the
what they wanna-
capital.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys are so closely associated with the Cap storyline, obviously, and we're going to see Falcon Winter Soldier for Disney Plus. I'm curious, like, for you, is it settled in your mind? Is Sam's Captain America? Like, because it's curious that they've called it Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah. That's a
it's
good
not
question.
Captain America.
Yeah. I don't know
As far
if
as
they,
from your perspective.
In my perspective, it is settled in my mind that he's Captain America. That said, I don't know if one just picks up the shield and is Captain America. It takes some. It takes work on a person's part to figure out who Captain America is to them, who they are as Captain America. That Sam has been the Falcon.
Yes.
He's been a soldier. Then he's been Falcon. Is Sam as Captain America just Falcon with a shield on his arm?
Right.
What is the process that he needs to go through to embody that?
Right. What does it mean for him specifically
Yeah.
to embody a symbol of America at this time?
And I can also imagine the weight of that moment when we see him in that costume for many reasons.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a very powerful thing, whether it's at the culmination
Totally
of that
agree.
show or the next Avengers or whatever it is. Do you think the next Avengers we see has another word associated with it, like Young Avengers?
Oh,
I don't
zombie
know.
Avengers, right?
Baby Avengers?
Right? In the tradition of Muppet Babies?
That's right.
I'm in.
I honestly don't know.
He's gonna
It
zag.
can go anywhere.
Yeah.
It can go anywhere.
Who's the hardest Avenger to write for? Who is your toughest that you always like?
Natasha was tough because she doesn't like to emote all that much.
Right.
Steve doesn't either, but we've had taken him longer and we just had him more.
We also, we know the history that is weighing on Steve.
Good
With
point.
Natasha, it's all murky.
Right.
Which is the attraction of the character, but it's also like it's harder to pull things out and make it seem fresh.
I mean, remember, we tried. Here's a story I'm going to tell you from my past. Right? It did not work.
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to know it, and I didn't want her to tell it to me.
Yeah.
But we certainly tried.
felt
it.
like a
It wasn't
betrayal
in
of
her
the
na-
character.
Wasn't in her nature at all.
Right.
Yeah. So that was tough.
The Russos have alluded to like one other Cap story they want to tell one day. Do you know what they're talking about?
I might.
I might,
I mean, there are great Cap stories left on the table, no doubt. You know, hell, I mean, if you had all the time and money in the world, there's a big montage in World War II in the first movie that's
there's
got
that.
stories in it.
Yeah.
You know, you bring back all the Holland Commandos and just go to town.
Right.
The thing about the trilogy in these two movies is we have always been able to push Cap forward.
Yeah.
And evolve his character. It would be fun, but I don't know that it would have the character weight that I'd like it to have.
Did you ever go down that road at all in talking internally between the two of you and going to Marvel for like something set in that period?
Oh, we've pitched them the Camp Lehigh series.
Well,
my God, wouldn't it be great?
We had a
1970
couple of times in Winter Soldier and in Civil War. You tried to build a trope of flashing back to a World War II story
Yeah,
that is
right.
coinciding with a contemporary story. And I still love that structure.
Right.
It just kept being unnecessary.
Right.
You
An
know.
embarrassment of riches. Like
It was an embarrassment of riches, and it was nothing that there was nothing being conveyed in the past section that you didn't understand from the present.
Right. You could tell when you cut it. If you cut it and
Yeah,
it
and
didn't
it
detract
just
from the
did
story,
it,
then that's
Yeah.
telling. You can say.
But it was always cool to put, you know, particularly when you have a character who is in both time periods.
Yeah.
So you have
You have
Steve
license to
Rogers.
do it,
If you
yeah.
have Steve Rogers standing in a field in Germany that's totally peaceful, and then you flash back to that same guy standing in a field just covered with blood and bullets.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
You know, there's something to do there. I just don't know what it is.
You're in a unique vantage point, I feel like, as fanboys and people that have culminated at least a part of a franchise, a part of a series for Star Wars. I'm just curious. Episode 9.
You asking our opinion on Star Wars?
Episode 9. They have to end a 40-plus year saga, 9 films. What do you think they have to answer? How would you even approach?
This is the one I've lost track of the numbers. 9 is the one that's
9 is
actually
JJ's
they've
second
already shot
one.
it.
Yes, it's coming out on
Coming
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh, I don't know. It's so difficult. I mean, they have such the weight of
You have a
my
pretty tough
childhood.
task.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's all invented right now in front of our eyes in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
right? It's not going back to little Steve McFeely when he was 6. You know, like,
He's his dad?
that's
What?
right. Yeah, I mean, it's so fraught. Yeah, they don't need any. They certainly don't need any advice from us. But I can't. I'm trying to go in there.
I mean, it's an equally fascinating universe they've got there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Challenge, not
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but you know, in general, I'd like to see it move forward and not backwards. You know, like
Yes.
I would prefer not another Death Star.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those, right?